Welcome back to episode 5 of the Planet Raygun campaign playtest, Shadow of a Ghost. And this is our third episode, likely to be our conclusion episode for the Blood Banks of Theranor. Last we saw the crew. They had stolen Eliza Hemlock's cane. They had obtained the blood sample of Harvoid the Third, and now Eliza Hemlock has is sicking the entire planet of, I guess, the entire city of New Gothica onto the crew. At this point, yeah, you are going to be running from a horde of vampires and trying to escape the planet. We have entered our get out and get away phases of the heist. So you can still collect in this phase. It gets more dangerous. So in the get out phase, we are in high risk. So watch is going to advance 2 points on ones or twos. Characters are going to be really aggressive. You are going to confront dangerous things, so on and so forth. You're you effectively have two obstacles in front of you to get out of Terranor. The first one, which is the immediate one, is our getaway phase, and that is the hunt. How will you evade the bloodthirsty Terranor's hordes? The distinct sense, some of the things to be considering here, the distinct scent of ancient blood. You are holding the sample of Harvoid the Third. The Terranors can smell it. You've already been seeing them kind of like smelling and identifying blood and who people are, so on and so forth. Um, to get out of the dome, you know it's something of a choke point exit. You can't just run wherever you want to go. There are these small corridors that you're going to have to move into, and of course, you have an entire city of parasitic vampires. And their beasts, which happen to be woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers that are also vampires. So the complexity for this phase is 5. It's a pretty high number, as this is you are deep within this city and have a tough, dark, and I guess dark climb to get out of this entire spot. And then just to kind of scout ahead, your get out phase is what's called dark portents. The question there will be, how will you get your ship out of Terranor? You would know or have some suspicion that the port is going to be locked down. If you remember, like the ships come in at full speed and kind of like just revolve around and then pop back out. That port is likely to be locked down by the time that you get there. And with that port locked down, that also provides power to the exterior of the city. And so there's not going to be light anywhere. So those are the two things to be considering there. That's going to have a complexity of 2. So you've got 7 points that you are trying to overcome. If things get tight, for what it's worth, you can decide someone can decide to give themselves up. So you have your crew bona fides. You've used one on this heist. You are now in the phase once you have the loot. Okay, so I guess there's two options here. If things get tricky, we can go into in more detail, but just to give you the high level summary, you can drop the loot and just leave. um, there's situations there, or there's certain terms of that with the actual move. Sorry, I'm trying to look this stuff up as I go. Core moves. The other option is what's called giving yourself up. And during the get out or get away phase is of a heist, a character may give themselves up, and that will boost the result of any individual or group move by 1 level. But it results in the given up character being imprisoned. And then it's kind of fun. I keep saying things are fun, and that's not my role. there will be a prison break essentially to get you out. So it will either be you can either choose to come back to Terranor and try and break the person out of the prison, the jail in Terranor, or we plot wise say like they're getting transferred to another location, and then the prison will be in the next heist location. So you'll have a little side objective, and there'll be this little side plot of someone who is stuck inside of jail and needs to be broken out. So you've got that available. You all have bona fides, so we don't need to talk about one last job, which is how you retire yourself and kind of can help advance the crew. So that's where we're at with that. Let's let's just really quickly talk about what assets we have available to the crew right now. So I'll go through the flaws and exploits really quickly. We still have this Methuselah, this giant bottle of Amontillado that Fix obtained from donating blood within the All Welcome Hall. We know that Leonid, who is Fix's rival here, is secretly Terranor's. Uh, Leland obtained a Dracula cape of fine make, which essentially was designating a very special guest for this noble wedding. And we have, oh, and we learned at the very end of last episode that the city of New Gothica was designed to feel pain. And that pain is monitored within Castle Lancet. Why don't you each let me know what kit you have available still on your own person?
I still have bioradar and holographic decoy. Ooh,
For what
that
it's
gives me an
worth,
idea.
Rob, we have also established that all holographic decoys have an explosion of smoke when they are turned on, engaged. It is now
I,
canonical.
I still
Like when
have
they're
a wax mask kit and a med pack. I also have a Mac in a slot.
So you can pick anything off of, yeah, the standard kit.
my heist kit, currently I've got a comms device that's encrypted, a ray gun at close range, and then in my personal cargo, I have Gilbert urine.
Oh, that's right.
I have a computer virus debilitating and my time break for 20 seconds.
Ooh, yeah.
I also have a bioradar, so must have got some sort of 2-for-1 deal. And when the time is right, civilian clothes, parentheses, fancy.
Perfect. So that's what we've got. Any any questions? Anything that we need to establish? Is there any desire? This is a pretty tense moment, but would there be any desire to set up a bridging the void scene, anything like that, or do we just want to jump in?
I don't see any reason not to.
All right. Let's start with. I'm kind of curious, Sierra. So the rest of the crew is um, in the bowels of the blood banks, these underground catacombs. They had to go past this little reception desk and then headed down into the bowels of this planet. Where do you see yourself being at? What have you been up to? For what it's worth, people at home, Rob is aware of what we think we may know about Sierra. And I'm just leaving it up to Rob and Amanda to decide what might have happened or didn't happen, didn't happen, whatever.
I'm gonna follow Rob's lead.
I was going to sidebar chat you and we can figure this out. I'm just trying to figure out how to.
Do you want me to just focus the action on the rest of the crew right now? Or do you have a thought of where you are in place at least right
I
now?
think it's got to actually be Sarah there. The question is she giving up information deliberately or under duress?
Some of the thoughts of where you could be in place for what it's worth would be you could be at the wedding. You could still be at Castle Lancet, like the sort of like throne of power of the city. You could be kind of like slinking back right now, or just kind of like somewhere behind the main camera action within the blood banks, or getting things ready for an escape within the what they call the veinways, the corridors of this city.
But you heard my voice. I'm just trying to get this straight in my head. You heard my voice somewhere talking to the Terranors and
Yeah,
giving up information about everyone.
we were in the castle, and I heard your voice. I burst in and we went to black. The next thing we saw of Jane Doe doing was going into the blood banks. We don't know what happened between then.
Mm.
It was specifically a meeting of Terranors who were discussing every last thing that this crew had been doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
exactly. So like
this was how we had learned that they had been effectively tracking every last one of us, and then we heard your voice. So we don't know to what extent you are responsible for that knowledge or were reacting to that knowledge,
yeah,
etc.
that makes sense.
We don't know how
All
I
right.
got out of there either. That was just glossed over.
Or why it was only you.
Yeah.
The other possibility, of course, is that like if we're gonna give someone up, it could be me and I could be taken prisoner.
That's a last resort.
All right, all right, all right.
Should have diplomatic immunity, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. They can't hold me hostage. That
Mhm.
won't go well for them. Yeah. And my read on it is probably that like they already knew all this information. So Sarah was like, well, there's no point in me denying it or but is trying to talk her way out of being captured or something.
Mm. And where are you now?
I mean, they wouldn't just let me go, right? So I think I must still be talking to these people.
In the castle?
Mm.
Um, if you are there, let's swing with that. Let's see how this develops. We see as we sort of like open this episode with we can kind of almost tie this into that last piece of information that we learned, which is that the city feels pain. The city has had um, to give you a little bit more detail on how the cane was stolen. Fix opened up a portal within the city to like drop the bone cane through the portal into his pocket dimension, and the city like felt some pain. That was something that Hijack noticed, or was it Jane Doe noticed? Whoever noticed it picked up on this signal, and we know that it's monitored in Castle Lancet. And so I think you are sitting in the boardroom. There's a few board members who are we see them kind of like stalking around trying to figure out what to do with you, impatiently waiting something. And you see one of these monitors, the light is just blinking, um, and I think you hear the board members say, "It looks like the hunt has begun, but isn't our role to stay here with this one and make sure she's Not messing around with anything. But it's a hunt. When's the last time we've had a full hunt in New Gothica? And they're kind of going back and forth. What are you doing here?
I think I want to try and convince them to stay focused on me, to not go. So maybe I think I'm trying to make it look like I have some kind of plan for getting out of there or pulling something out of my pocket or springing some trick on them. I don't actually have any clue.
Oh,
But
just like acting like very conspicuously as if you are acting, trying to act inconspicuously, essentially.
exactly,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I love that. Give me a distraction with composure. What are you afraid might happen here?
I'm afraid they will just either tie me up or kill me and carry on with the hunt.
Yeah, I think that it would be in not in having that bloodthirst for whatever this hunt is, that they would just be rid of you because then they know
Mm,
that you cannot be messing around with things. Um,
yeah. And
I feel like
composure
this
is my
feels.
worst stat because Sarah is not notable for keeping her cool.
You
But
could
I
use one of
got,
your assets to help out in this situation. Yeah.
well, I got a 10 on the dice and a -1
Oh,
is a 9. So that's
hey.
not
Uh,
terrible.
cool. Describe for us like how this is kind of playing out, and I'll
I
give
think
some
I'm
competition.
like, I have this holographic decoy. I think it's almost as though I'm trying to make it look like that's something it isn't. Like it's some kind of other device that is going to spring me out of here or convince them that the me they're talking to is the decoy. It's
Hmm.
not. But yeah, I'm just trying, or that I'm turning some knob on it and it's going to explode, or
Yeah, I
just
mean,
generally trying to look suspicious.
there's going to be a burst of smoke out of this thing,
Hmm.
regardless, because we made that wise decision. So yeah, I think that that's what we see. It's like this puff of smoke, and they look over. Um, Syrah, where have you gone? Syrah. And they're like they're coming into the drifting cloud of smoke here, and again you are seeing this like light like beeping that the city is feeling pain and something's going on.
I think I want to try and, if I'm activating this holographic decoy, I want to try and switch places with it and have the decoy sitting in the chair that I was sitting in, and I can go and like try and turn off whatever control panel is controlling this light, enabling them to maybe track anything or just cause
Cool.
trouble. So yeah, so in under the cover of the smoke, trying to switch places with my own decoy.
Love it. The camera sees that. The camera cuts to the wedding and all of the vampires, and we start seeing like these big like vampiric woolly mammoths kind of like starting to like move. They're not grazing anymore. They are starting to move on the hunt. And we see the clone of Hijack talking to Tyona, and the two of them still being occupied with their dangerous flirtation, even as everyone else is marching towards the hunt. We cut back to the the blood banks themselves, and Eliza Hemlock is standing there in front of the crew and says to you all, "Well, have fun with the hunt, you sad little sacks." And she turns around and just kind of like very like calmly walks off through some type of secret passage. She is there and then she is not there. Um, How, as an entire crew, including Sierra, do you want to execute a plan here to escape the hunt? Do you feel like there's any other assets that you need to, or do you want to kind of like dig around in the blood banks, see what you can find? Or are we pushing forward?
So Eliza's totally gone, right?
Eliza is totally gone at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So we can't try convincing her to
Maybe you
help
hear
us.
her cackling, the echo of her cackling laugh through the catacombs, but are not sure where she would be.
Well, Leland is smitten. He is. There's heart eyes going on over there. And he is dejected that she has just left them
Uh-huh.
to their own devices. Um, so I mean, have we? Let me just double check because we haven't answered the complexity of the hunt yet, right? We're still
Correct.
okay. I mean, is that something we could do now to just like sort of get out, or do we want to like push the tension a bit? I
I suppose
posed
the
to the other
question is,
players.
do we have a plan using the assets and flaws that we have to get out?
I
I
mean,
have
it's
a
bullshit,
I have
but
a deeply stupid plan.
oh, go for it.
I really, really hope it involves riding through the big veins that go through the city like water slides, because that's what I've been trying to think of how to do that. Uh, so that's my vote. Water slides.
It's pretty good. That's not what I was thinking, but that's because I made a local connection with a certain pipe organ maker who is in need of a replacement assistant who I believe wore a sailor suit, which some might consider fancy civilian clothes. And so, if I don a sailor suit, maybe I can get everybody to hide inside rental pipe organs and sneak everybody out right under the gaze of the hunting Terranors, who would never suspect a humble assistant pipe organ rental monkey being one of the greatest thieves of all time.
But doesn't this pipe organist know that you're not that person, though?
My task was to replace Nerio,
Oh,
and
And the pipe
I
organ
could
guy is blind.
also that. I
oh,
think
yeah,
I
there
do
you
a
go.
pretty good Nerio impression by this point.
Okay.
I guess that is another there's another subplot here. A fix. You can throw. So do you want to throw your asset against this task condition to complete the task condition?
Yeah, like however the mechanics work out.
Yeah.
Like the grandest, stupidest plan that I had here is that if it helps out, this could even be a version of Fix giving himself up, but the imprisonment is working as a pipe organ maker's assistant. He is imprisoned here replacing Nerio, and it gets this plan to get everybody else out, but does not have an extraction point himself to not keep doing this pipe organ rental assistant job.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Well, let's figure out how we can support that.
That sailor suit is forever.
Yeah, well, it's bonded to you at this point. It doesn't, once it's on, it doesn't come off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got, all right, so if we want to base that, if we want to like base that on, or use that premise as the basis of our get away here. So we've got the civilian clothes. Can we just check these boxes if even if we're not using them or?
Or do the highlight thing.
Oh, okay.
I can
Yeah,
cursor
highlight could
over
work.
them.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
All right, so we'll start with their sailor suit. I imagine it's the kind of like cute one with like the little hat and little neckerchief.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Frilly cuffs.
I
We
wouldn't
could
go
say
that
that
far.
I've given you my wax mask kit to make your face look a little bit more like Nerio's, so
Yes,
that if anyone
because
who does know Nerio, you're
plus the pipe
Nerio.
organist is probably uh keen on fondling the face to confirm.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he feels the wax mask, it'll have his features. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um,
The bioradar could be used just to track us relative to hunting Terranors to avoid the thickest packs of them. So we could be using that to navigate the veinways.
into it. Um, and then we can use the antique crossbow with tracking darts.
You have already used the antique crossbow with
I think
tracking
we
Oh,
used that
darts.
when we
I
got
think
the
I may
blood
have
in.
Yep.
accidentally unchecked that.
how dare you?
Sorry.
We're running here a sloth show. Um, my whole plan was hinging on that. That's falling apart.
It's all falling apart.
I still
Um,
have a Machina slot, so we could have uh maybe not another antique crossbow.
well, the city was designed to feel pain, so that seems prime for distraction.
Yeah.
Um, so if we can perhaps use another asset to sort of trigger an intense feeling of pain,
Hmm.
the way we
Like
know that
terrible organ playing? Because there's no light, so everybody's other senses would be heightened.
true is do we have the organ as as an asset or a flaw?
No, not itself. Mm-mm.
Okay. Um, is there a Machina slot for an organ? Uh, pipe organ,
I
not a.
unfortunately no.
Okay.
Or some sort
Um,
of loudspeaker.
well, so my thinking is if we can justify or figure out a way to use one of these kit items or exploits to cause the city to feel pain, my thinking is that we can sort of direct the flow of the city through because we know that it shifts. We know that the labyrinth shifts. The paths are never the same. They adjust according. They adapt. And so if we can have them sort of like corral them into a more direct path, while maybe even using it to cut off, but we just need to use something, which is what my the tracking darts and the crossbow were going to be used for pain. But now that we don't have them, I just don't know what we can do now.
Ray gun.
Uh, oh, okay.
I
Do we
have
need the city to actually feel pain, or do we need the sensors to think it does? Because I have that computer virus.
that could be fun, yeah.
That's smart.
yeah, use the computer virus to make the city feel like it think it's feeling pain,
Where's the
like
virus
a
at?
anti-placebo.
In my heist kit.
Oh, okay.
Or you could, yeah, create a false alarm that might make the Terranors give up the hunt to aid the city, something like that.
Who is Leonid?
A bird-like
Fixes.
alien that I had a relationship with.
A third curator within New Gothica right now.
Oh,
We had a falling out, and they got away with my old eyes. They thought that my current ones were an upgrade, but it's a complicated relationship.
I'm inclined to agree. All right, so that's five right there. If we want to push it over, um, do you have an idea for this Machina slot?
Yeah.
Um,
What if this whole time I've had a pet vulture and I set my pet vulture free so that it leads the it'll come back to me because if you love something and I do love my pet vulture, it'll return to you. So
yeah.
I'll let it free and the people, the Terranors will chase the vulture rather than chase us because it's unruly and making a lot more noise and being a lot more.
Or we use that, but we attach the bioradar to it, so it makes the Terranors think that it's emitting more vitality than it actually is.
That's a good
So it's
idea.
it's like
Yeah.
for like amplifying it's by I don't know fucking science.
Yeah.
Um
Oh, I got 2 science degrees. That sounds legit.
yeah. It's just sort of like amplifying like a heartbeat or a pulse or something like that, making them sort of like hungry for it.
Technically, I think there is a second bioradar that was listed when we were going over all of our assets.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have one as well. Yeah.
well, everyone except me. Jeez.
So we're at
6, it looks like.
6.
Yeah.
Unless you want to
Um,
add the second bioradar.
The vulture's name is Gerald, by the way.
Of course.
Great.
Naturally.
Of course.
So give me the full rundown of the plan, how we are evading the bloodthirsty Terranor's hordes on our way out here.
What it sounds like to me is we are going to, right, so Hijack is going to upload a virus that is going to trigger the city into feeling pain, sort of, confusing it a bit, causing, I imagine Hijack is also probably smart enough, right? He can like manipulate it so that like we can also use it to our advantage, um, to navigate. I don't know. Maybe we're giving him too much credit. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so the virus is going to cause the city to feel pain, causing chaos. We're going to attach a bioradar to a pet vulture named Gerald, who is unruly. And we're going to send it out into the streets, above the streets, really, so that the Terranors will seek it out, thinking it's a delicious meal. Meanwhile, Fix is going to don the fancy, but not too fancy, sailor suit, and the wax mask to shape himself into the visage and likeness of uh, this person whose name I forgot.
Nerio.
Nerio. And he is going to use that disguise to convince the pipe organist uh, to escort us out secretly.
Hiding in pipe organs and being pushed to the other side of the Bureau of Wonder is how I'm interpreting that.
Yep.
Cool.
Foolproof.
Couldn't be simpler.
6 assets. We're feeling confident on that roll?
I don't see why not.
If so,
Go for it, Jack.
let's roll it.
Do it,
Sure.
do it, do it.
Fuck it. There might have been a bit of a hiccup in the plan.
Uh-oh.
That's a 6.
It is a 6. So let's look at what happens and
And
what
I also rolled a 1.
you did also roll a 1. Okay. On a 6, the plan quickly falls apart. The crew may choose one of the following. Mark the next crew bona fide and increase the result to a 7 to 9. That would put you up to 2. There's 4 of those altogether, so it's starting to press on your resources for future heists. Option 2, advance to the next phase in turmoil. You add 2 complexity to the next objective. Or you can remain in the current phase, lose 1 asset, and I will describe the shifting situation.
There's one additional option, which is the new Nerio option, where Fix is.
Oh,
stuck.
yes, that you could give yourself up. Yes,
Mhm.
that is true.
Mm.
I should add that
Or
to
I could.
call. Or Syrah could give herself up.
Yeah, you two should fight over it.
What's it gonna be, crew?
I mean,
I
I
just
would
don't-
understand if Gerald decided he actually really likes New Gothica and wants to live here because he is a vulture.
Really gets along with the mechanical bats.
Yeah,
Finds
so like
a
story-wise, it makes sense
found
if
family.
we lose an asset.
That
But-
vulture never came back.
I also like the idea of a prison break later. So those are my opinions.
Yeah, I'm kind of into bumping up the complexity for the next part and seeing what
Hmm.
happens.
The
That could be
turmoil
fun.
option.
Just kick the can down the road, and how much worse can it be?
Exactly.
That is pretty fun.
You want to do
I just
that?
wouldn't. I just
Or-
wouldn't have felt right not making the offer as the guest star. So
In a sailor suit.
in a sailor suit, like I
And
have
a
already
little
demeaned myself 2 episodes in a row. How much longer are you going to make me keep doing this?
Um, if we're doing it that way, advancing to the next phase in turmoil, we're still going to do it with style. So if you can each describe your signature moment, narrate your signature moment within this phase of the heist as you are escaping the hunt and getting out of New Gothica itself.
I think what I do is in that moment, I grab the bioradar as we hear the cackling of Eliza as she walks away, and I whip open my cape because I have a cape now. I whip open my cape, and underneath my cape is a vulture. It is Gerald, and Gerald goes when he does his little claw thing that he does all the time that we know about because we've seen Gerald before. And I strap the bioradar to Gerald and I say, "Fly, fly, my pretty." And Gerald takes off in just a burst of wings and flapping, and we feel my cape starts flapping in the wind, and Gerald flies off screaming to high heaven. Oh, Gerald.
And I think as the chaos is sown there, I think we see this blast of smoke as Syrah's holographic decoy goes off, and the Terranors rush the chair where she was sitting just a moment before and find her still there. But also she's on the other side of the room, just mashing buttons, pulling cables, trying to cause as much disruption as possible, and somehow amplifying and worsening this this signal that Gerald and his bioradar is setting off, disrupting the hunt. And she's just there over this control panel and kind of a cloud of sparks and electrical short circuits and smoke pulling cables and circuit boards out, and just wreaking as much havoc as she can.
We see Hijack briefly holding the computation crystal, holding the computer virus, trying to figure out where to put it in the teller. He goes for the mouth. Who designed this place? He's going to try and find a better opportunity later.
At this point, some of the Terranors have closed in. They're crawling up the walls and ceiling and on the floor, skittering like vermin. And uh, they're very hungry. They look at us. We are succulent meals to them, except for maybe Jane, um, just based solely on the lack of blood, nothing else. Um, and they begin to lunge. Leland, in his dramatic silk Dracula cape, is sort of fending them off as best as he can, pew-pewing with the ray gun. Um, but as he's sort of, having his moment, from above, that we just sort of see this curve of three long hooked claws slowly descend, very, very, very slowly descend. In fact, by the time they get to where Leland should be, he's already murdered a few vampires and has already strolled off. But the claw continues to descend and eventually swipes at the space where Leland was several minutes ago.
To have this vision of Fix running quickly down one of the vaneways, shrugging the sailor suit jacket on, trying to hop into the pants while stumbling, knocking into some of the razors on the side of the walls, tugging at the too tight crotch and the firm grip on his backside that these sailor pants have given him. They look fancy as hell, but they're uncomfortable. and then working the wax features carefully at a dead sprint before finally making it back, wheezing to the pipe organ maker and saying to him as he comes in and says, "I could never forget you. I swore a promise to you, and I have come to deliver. My love for pipe organs has dragged me back from the very pit of hell." At the same time, he's like waving to the others to get into open panels of rental pipe organs. And after some genuine tears and hugs with his new patron, he says, "And now I must get to my new avocation. I've got pipe organs to deliver." And then starts pushing pipe organs filled with his uh, fellow heist operatives. But is doing some fancy stepping, like one of those guys at the roadside spinning one of those arrow signs for an open house. It's just like spinning the wheels of the pipe organ around him in a full circle, doing a little two-step dancing, looking, whistling as if doesn't have a care in the world because he belongs here. There's nothing suspicious at all about what he's doing.
There is a noise as you all are being wheeled through the gate of the dome. And at first, maybe those of you who are still inside the pipe organs think that it is the pipe organs, like you're hitting the wrong pedal and there's these loud like noises. But you start, as you get closer to the dome itself, you are feeling it, the percussive hits of these sounds, and realize that this is something on the outside. As you pull out of the dome into the sort of like exterior area where there's pathways going to the port and to the Bureau of Wonder, the All Welcome Hall, you see a spaceship floating above the dome, floating above the city, pummeling it with bombs, missiles, laser beams, all of that. This is the Lazarus. The Lazarus was that sunken Imperial robot Imperium ship. The robots have gotten it working again. And they weren't coming here to donate blood. They were coming here to destroy New Gothica. This is all going on. There is, for what it is worth, so there's going to be two aspects here. Aspect one, when you're pulling out, you're pulling through the pathways of this external area, and you hear the Terranors are just in all-out panic because of this. And as the hunt is pursuing you or is starting to like wander out and search, they're pursuing Gerald. They're trying to figure out what this pain is inside of the city, but some of them are coming out to kind of like check the perimeter. And they see what's going on, and there is a panic as if this is the end times. And they are, to add the extra to complexity to this particular stage, to this particular phase, I'm going to say the Terranors are in all out like bloodthirst, blood rage. They are grabbing any tourists, any donators. Maybe as you're like moving through the all welcome hall, there's people who are in line. They've got their walk-on music is being played at the little crunky piano, and all of a sudden like there's just an usher like jumping on top of this person and just sucking their blood right there, inserting parasites right there, trying anything that they can do to get out of this place before it is destroyed by the robot Imperium. Terranor's blood panic is something to overcome here as you are trying to get your ship out of Terranor. All that said, you have another option as well. The complexity of just getting out is 4. You can work in the destruction of the Lazarus into your heist plan. That will add complexity too. But you will save New Gothica in the process, and save the Terranor and the Terranors. Um, it's an option that's available to you. And the reward will be adding a character or a thing to your list of kit. Um, Ship kit, for what it's worth. So you'll get an extra reward out of this if you do that. That said, what are we thinking here, crew? Where are we at with assets? Do we need more? Like, are we going to scramble to try and find something to get us out of here, or are we pushing forward? We can also panic and drop the loot. Or
We're currently
That's the last
discussing in
thing.
chat whether or not we want to save the Terranors.
all right. Why don't we? Do you want to? We'll take like a 6-minute break. Come back at the 20, the even number here. And if you all want to discuss, take a break, kind of figure out what you want to do. You've got some options in front of you. Um, Things are looking grim though for Terranor and the city of New Gothica. So I'm going to pause the recording, resume. And we're back. Some of you feel like we've never left at all. What's our decision? Have we decided?
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
make this place go boom.
All right. So letting Terranor's uh uh fall at the hands of the robot Imperium, presumably. Um, it's tragic, but they probably deserved it for all of the blood sucking and blood imperialism and so on and so forth. Um, but there's plenty of friends that we've met along the way who may perish in this. That said, how are you all approaching getting out of this yourselves?
I hope someone's got a plan.
You know, the best plans are always on the fly, right? Unless they're not a good plan. Um,
They do always say that. That's the saying.
yeah, including the stammering. It's
Mhm.
Catchy. Yeah.
And I
I
guess,
feel
yeah,
like our plan has to have something to do with Leonid because that hasn't been resolved yet. And Leonid has to be involved somehow.
well, maybe we steal their battery. They're like we steal their ship battery or something. Um, maybe there's something we could steal from them. I'm just thinking of that.
yeah, and I guess that's the direct question here of like in this moment, like you still have some like space on the watch that if somebody wants to go and try and like scramble and get something out of this chaotic situation, that is available.
Question.
Yeah.
So when we decided to just up the complexity of
Mhm.
the get out, that used our clues for our assets rather for despite the fact that we missed.
Correct. Yes. So
Okay.
it's essentially like it's effectively like bumping the result, but then there is this particular outcome of it.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Um, what do I have? So, I mean, I've got my comms, which I feel like I don't know, we could use in some degree, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. Oh, we
Yeah.
do have Gilberry urn too if we need it. Um,
And to just re-describe the scene here in the context of this final objective that you're trying to overcome, you come out and it's dark as well. Other than the quote unquote rocket's red glare, like there is the light of war, the intermittent light of war, But otherwise, like it is pitch black out here, and you're just hearing the screams of tourists and donors as the Terranors are freaking out, and probably the screams of them as well. um, and the port is there was always this like low hum of the port like spinning, and it is not spinning, it is locked down. Jane, you were kind of down in the power plant itself, so I think you would be keenly aware of the fact that like that's all locked down at this point as well. um I think amid all the chaos, you do see um, a particular figure standing in the distance, lit up like a white bulbed Christmas tree. It's Massimo Thrust, standing posed on one leg, his arms out. Um, Massimo Thrust, for those who have not seen him in person yet, is this. Um, uh, where is he? Vivacious upper crust Terranors, and he's wearing this suit that is white and is lined with gleaming little light bulbs. And every step is kind of imbued with Bob Fosse choreography. He has stringy hair, he is physically old, and his fingernails are like talons. And he is standing in the distance with his suit lit up, just kind of staring at you all, like watching what your next move is.
I think Sarah's got to run into him, given that he let her in, effectively.
Um, I don't remember the voice for him, but he grins at you and says, "This may be how it ends."
It's kind of looking that way, huh?
Could you offer any help in getting us out of here? And you know that what he means is injecting parasites into you.
Right. If I had any way, any plan of getting out of here myself, maybe, but
It's that dire for all of us, isn't it?
I'm probably going to
Boom.
burn along with this place the way things are going.
Are you going to push him for any information, any assistance here?
Let's say I was trying to get out. How would you go about that?
Give me a collection roll with presence here.
7. Just squeaked it with the +1.
What are the numbers on the dice?
2 threes.
2 threes. Okay. Um, let's kind of like cut to the rest of you. The four of you have watched Sierra walk over to Massimo Thrust, glowing in the distance. What are you doing? What does this scene look like with the four of you huddled together?
In the midst of all the bombs and the flashing of lights and the noise, I want to look around and see if I can find that whiny guy that was trying to he was
Oh, um,
because I have something he wants.
you you do. Interesting. Stelio Mudd,
Stelia.
human super fan of the Terranors, um, who has been trying to give all of his blood for an improbable shot at being invited into New Gothica. Um, and I think you do find him, and it's you just hear, and the reason you find him is, why won't anyone help? Someone needs to help them.
Yeah,
You robot, this is your doing.
I'm going to walk straight up to him and say, You get me and my friends off this planet, and I'll give you exactly what you've been hoping for.
But I'm the one who needs help.
That's what I'm saying, my friend. I
Not
have
you. You're a robot. Give me a collection roll with presence here.
presence is not good. Oh no, my presence is good. I changed my stats.
Oh,
Hooray.
that's right. You're a vampire now. Vampire robots
Uh,
have lots of
can
presence.
since I'm a vampire, can I use my Terranor's status to increase my roll?
Oh, yeah. We know that Stelio Mud wants to be a Terranors, so he's taking you a little bit more seriously now. Yeah.
That is an 11.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, yeah, let's play this out a little bit.
Your vampire rules.
um, I don't understand what you're talking about right now. There's some kind of subtext, and I don't read subtext very well.
You help me, and I help you. You help me get off this planet, and I will turn you into a Terranor's.
Oh, how are you going to do that, though?
I think I just open my mouth, and you can see my fangs, and they glint in the rockets.
Oh, oh, I see.
Do we have a
Okay.
deal? How do I get my ship unlocked?
I, um, that's a really hard problem. I'm not good at solving problems, in case you haven't noticed.
Okay,
Um,
what do you know that can help me get it unlocked?
well, here, come here. And he like scurries around a corner. And he's like, would this help? I tried this once and it didn't work. Um, there's only one charge left though. And you see a rapid cloning incubator and it has one charge.
All right.
It's yours if it helps. Just get, yeah. How do I now? That's good, right?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay,
And
so
I want to like jump in and start sucking his blood
or
through my.
inserting. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm not getting him off the planet with us. He's gonna have to find his own way.
Sure,
But
sure, but you're inserting your one parasite into him.
I like to think the parasites have
Multiplied?
multiplied by this
Oh,
point,
okay.
yeah. Because that's what they do, right?
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
can
want to
I
keep
mean we never establish how many you have inside of you
yeah.
either, I
I
guess.
like to think
So
I'm
yeah.
not giving him all my parasites.
Okay.
I'm still parasitic.
Got it.
I want to be a
Um
vampire.
um let's cut back to Fix and Leland and Carlisle if you are around, but I think you're out for a second here.
So our
Yeah.
central problem is we need to get our ship free, and
I think
everything's on lockdown, and all the power is out,
I think
and there's a high likelihood we'll get murdered on the way there.
the central problem is that those pants don't fit you really nicely. They're a bit too short on you, you know?
Yeah, a little tight. They're a
Yeah.
little tight, like in here, through here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it. I think it's supposed to make like a flattering V shape, but honestly, it pinches, it kills.
Well, you know, it's all about tailoring, man. Yeah.
Man,
Uh,
it's a shame that they shut down all the stuff for tourists because I bet there's a tailor in here that would have done alterations.
And I
yeah.
want to say the three of you hear like the click clacking walk. It almost sounds like high heels. And you hear, well, 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 behind you. Um, and it is Leonid, um, rival curator and Terranor's, led Fixstar. And oh, I see you've bumped into Carlisle Hijack Lapointe.
And this is Leland Zero.
Hello.
So
Doesn't seem like a very worthy collector like the rest of us. Not that your collections were ever all that impressive, Fix, Hijack.
now you haven't seen them recently. And I'll have you know, I have made some significant progress in my DNA bank for the universe arc. One of the pieces, however, that I am still missing, and you know this, is my own eyes.
He is like the metal balls,
The
like this.
gravity juggling. Yeah.
Yes, he is. He has your eyes and is
This
playing with
wet
them in
clicking.
that way
Oh,
in
just
his
like
hands.
David Bowie style, just
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, I really wish you would take better care of those.
They're
You
mine to care for and yours to want to care for, aren't they?
you know Leonid. It's your name, Leonid, right?
Leonid. Id for identification.
it's like the
Leonid
family name.
Oh God.
identification is my full name.
Yeah, Leland just kind of rolls his eyes and he's gonna pull out his ray gun pistol. Um, and where's the moose at?
I can drop that. This will be an escalation roll for sure.
Yeah, I want to escalate things.
Okay. And you want to
Um,
use, we're using this for advantage as well, the ray gun?
yes.
Cool. Um, I'll drop the moves page in the chat here so that you all have it as reference. That should work. Let me know if it doesn't. So it's an escalation roll with advantage. When you take a risk that directly confronts or escalates tensions, roll 2d6 plus whatever stat. This feels like a vitality. What could go wrong here?
I was actually hoping for presence.
Oh, presence.
I'm not necessarily
Oh,
wanting
this
to
is a
kill this
threat. Okay, you
person,
are
but it's
not
more of a
just like
threat.
shooting
Yeah.
him. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I just want to scare him.
Okay, presence is fine. Yeah. What could go wrong?
He takes my eyes.
Yeah, it's worse than that. He's gonna take Hijack's eyes too.
Everybody's eyes.
I
Everybody's
don't know
eyes.
these people.
It's just standing here, man.
I like Hijack just standing there being like, what the fuck is going on? All right. Give us that roll. This is with advantage.
It does not matter because I'm rolling like dog shit today, y'all. So I rolled a one in my dice pool.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so that's going to be a six total.
Yeah. It fails on a 6 minus, and there's a catastrophic, if not fatal, consequence from a keeper reaction. Well, we know essentially what is going to happen here. You raise the um, you raise the ray gun, and you maybe didn't realize this, Leland, but I think Carlisle and Fix immediately know like you don't try and draw fast against a parry. They are very quick. And before you can even bring that ray gun up, um, Leonid Leonid's talents. He's dropped Fix's eyes. I think Fix maybe even tries to like jump, like leap, and like catch them before they fall on the blood-soaked ground here. And both of you, Carlisle and Leland, feel this Perry's bird-like talons just claw into your eyes. and remove your vision. You can see, I mean, you can see in the dim glow of the bombs that are hitting, and suddenly you can't. And maybe that's a little relieving, given all of the horrors going on around you. Um, but that's where we're at, unless there's a Bondi or a bona fide on Leland's part to be, or I guess even Carlisle's part, to escape this consequence.
I have a 4 for Leland's Bond dice. That would help.
That would help, actually. I would take that. Can I take
Um,
that?
yeah, how Carlisle, how in this situation before this this thing happens, do you react? How are you able to help Leland from ushering in this terrible consequence?
My initial instinct is he takes uh, the ray gun from Leland's hand and holds it on Leonid so that Leland can get an even better angle, and he's surrounded on two sides now.
Oh, the way to be quicker is to make a decision have to be made. So that bumps it the result up to a 9. Is that right?
Uh,
Or is it 10?
yeah, nine. Three. So it's gonna be three, 7, 8. Yeah, nine.
Okay. Um, so instead of what we saw almost happen there, or I kind of want to like cast it as like that is how Carlisle is imagining things breaking down here, before he, yeah, grabs his own ray gun. Um, and Leonid says, well, I suppose you have me in a bit of a conundrum here. I'll be able to
Yeah,
take one of your eyes before you can fell me, though. Two eyes from one person, as opposed to one eye from both people, just to make sure the math is clear.
Or no eyes get taken and no one gets felled, and we all go our separate ways.
Seems fair to me. I've got the most important thing here. And he smiles, or grins at Fix, and begins rolling the eyeballs in his hands again.
Could you just I know that you keep specimen containers on you. Could you just put them somewhere safe in some kind of a solution for the love of God?
Um, Fix, give me a collection roll here with
Right.
presence.
Do I have to worry about any the only condition I have is depleted. Is that going to affect my presence?
Um, I don't think it's going to affect this.
All right. Damn it, Jack. Contagious. Like a Terranor's parasite. That's a 2 and a 1.
Oof. All right. I'm gonna cut back to Sierra. Sierra, Massimo, looks at you and says, "This is almost mean, and I'm sorry, but it's just what works." Massimo says, "Well, if you're looking to unlock your way to exit this place," and he opens his coat and he pulls out of the interior coat pocket a key. a large and elaborate, beautiful looking key, and he says, "Here's the key to the city." Doesn't do much, but it's
Something
quite
tells
an
me there's
honor for me to bestow upon you.
something tells me there's a butt coming.
The but is, I don't think there's going to be much city left.
I see that. Is this key going to help me get out of here?
That's for you to figure out and me to watch. And you have obtained an honorary key to the city, non-functional.
Does that go in heist kit?
Add it to the flaws and exploits for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
Um,
So
oh,
what do you
if
want
you
in return for this?
um,
Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not letting you inject me with any of those parasites.
um, this was a mixed result, right?
It was a 9, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't want this to be the end, though. I I'll let you get away clean, but I'd like for this beautiful body, and he like changes to some other like Fosse dance pose, to get off of this planet.
You want me to take you with?
Exactly.
Okay, lead the way. At this point, what choice
Delicious.
do I have?
Yeah. So yeah, the complication here is just that you've got Massimo thrust in tow.
There's plenty of time to toss him out in an airlock later.
There you are. Um, Back to the three of you with Leonid. Um, yeah, I think um, the the consequence here fix was a collection roll. Um, you feel your depth perception go away. Um, I think that Leonid has snatched one of your eyes and just says, going to need to collect some interest on this.
There's a moment where like he doesn't even realize it. I think Leonid's super quick with it, sort of like Pai Mei style, just plucks it. And Leland just sort of blinks once or twice. And then realizes he starts to feel the wetness of the blood running down his eye socket, and then just starts screaming bloody murder.
Well, and this, for what it was is worth, is one of Fix's eyes being
Oh,
stolen.
I thought he was taking one of mine. Oh.
He has diverted his attention or his sight to. Sorry, the names are fairly similar of Leonid and Leland. Um, but yeah, like he is plucking one of Fix's
Oh, okay.
background radiation
I,
eyeballs.
I do agree that Leland would look cooler with an eye patch.
If you would like, I can take one of yours as well.
Yeah, sure, why not?
And flump. I think that resolves
Ah!
resolves the failure
Yeah.
here. And yeah, I think Leonid, just like you see his wings are kind of like draped around him like a cloak, and you see them just like open up wide and foom, 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 like he's flying away with his four um, eyeballs, and he probably um, drops them within a we've played this scene out. Fix Michael, if you want to use a bona fide, grab a bond dice, whatever the case is. But yeah, I think within this branch of the narrative, Leonid is flying away with the eyeballs, and I think he says like, "Don't worry, I've got the perfect container for them." And he's got this like warbot head, and he just like drops the four eyes into the warbot head as he flies away.
I mean, I think we agree that Leland's going to look cool with an eye patch, so
Uh-huh.
I was inclined to let it stand. What
We
I
can let it
imagined
ride.
what I imagined Fix doing was going, "Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, I should have told you." And like, who's got the med kit? Trying to like find something to patch Leland's eye, and then over his shoulder shouting, and he's saying, "The next universe will not have a single berry in it. All of you are going to die for what you did."
And he flies away. Um, how are we feeling about this getting out at this point? I think
I'm
we've got a
sure
couple new
I'm, sh-
things
I'm sure
in the
Hijack
mix.
feels great being in the company of the two of us right now.
Hijack
We're
is just like flat affect. Just I hate you all.
well, between the two of us, we've got 20/20 vision, so I think we're doing all right.
Are you at
Okay.
least like? Do you have one left, one right between the two of you?
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
I think that's yeah, that looks like it'd be a good look. Yeah. Um, but yeah, you're gonna say something, Amanda?
Oh, I was just looking at our flaws and exploits, seeing what we have to see if anybody has any plans to get our ship unlocked so we can get out of here. But there's still a Methuselah bottle of Amontillado. There's Leonid is secretly Terranor's. Dracula cape of fine make. Honorary key to the city, non-functional. Med pack, rapid cloning thingy. I can remember what you called it.
Incubator.
Uh, incubator, thank you. Second, bio radar, and anything that might still be in our kits.
Well, we know that the parasite that was infecting the vampire sloth who I took the cape from was of great diplomatic importance.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps we can use the residual DNA off the cape to clone this important diplomat so that we've at least got some sort of like what's the word?
Hostage.
Yeah.
Mm. We splash them with the Methuselah Amontillado, and we carry them as if they're drunk. We don't need them to be upright. We need to be escorting a VIP off the planet so that everybody else gives us
Now we're cooking.
space and helps us. Yep.
Now we're cooking.
So the moment they come out of the incubator, we shove a bottle in their mouth, get them immediately nearly blackout drunk, splash it all over them so that they reek of alcohol, and
Yeah.
then and then they have two seeing eye escorts with
Yeah.
one eye apiece,
And because
keeping
we have
them.
the honorary key to the city, that just
Mhm.
lends more
More
credence
Yeah,
to
it
the
Credibility,
looks
fact
makes
yeah.
it
that
look
yes.
official. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm into this. I'm into this.
The goal is to get them to unlock the port here. Is that how you're approaching
Yeah.
it? And just convince them
Yeah,
that like we need
it's
to open the port for just a few minutes to get so and so off
we're
the
the
Yeah.
planet.
diplomat's entourage, and it's
Mhm.
it's women and children and sloths first. So
Mhm.
we gotta get out. We gotta get out.
Okay, this is making sense.
Do we have anything else that we want to throw at this? Do we have anything we can throw at it?
We still
God.
have that second bio radar.
And I
Yeah.
have
And
my
I
time
haven't
break
marked
still.
my decoy, holographic decoy yet. I've kind of narratively used it, but
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it hasn't been used functionally. Yeah, mechanically.
Did you say you had something else, Ben?
I have my time break still.
Mm.
Well,
Not
that
sure
could
if
be
20
useful.
seconds would get us too far, though, in this situation.
Well, maybe we just use a second bioradar, so that again we sort of ping that this is like we sort of use because like I don't imagine we're cloning the parasite, we're cloning the sloth. So we need to sort of like duplicate the bioenergy, the biosignature of the parasite. And so we hack the bioradar to mimic the sort of biofrequency of the parasite so that it's not just a sloth in Dracula cape being escorted, a drunk Dracula sloth being escorted onto a ship, but it's actually the host of this very important dignitary.
And maybe the last kind of remnants of the Terranor's opportunity to get out, right? If they think that these things are hosting the parasites.
And this doesn't have any like mechanical sway, but we'll have Massimo Thrust with us to lend us more credibility that,
Mm.
we're not just a bunch of people, we're actually Terranors. Because I'm a Terranors,
Hmm.
and so
Hmm.
is Massimo Thrust. So
So we're at 5. Is that good? Do you want to use anything else here? This is the last objective, so if you can figure out a way to work anything else in, you're not saving for anything else, I guess.
The other thing unmarked is the med pack. Does that fit somehow?
If we just say that the med pack is required to keep the two injured members of the crew upright and functional to pull this
Mm.
plan off, so they're not
Oh, that's
distracted
right,
by.
because you've just had eyes removed. Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
fiction, it should be a little more distracting than we've been playing it as.
Um, all right. Then that's a +2 at this point.
I've rolled good today. I can try again if everyone's
I'm
willing.
not touching dice anymore.
Well, let me get that text. I had 3. Only 2. And that was a +2. That's a 7.
7. Okay. That's and it's the last part, so there's not, yeah, a complication necessarily. That's the nice thing about getting out here. Is um yeah, getting out is the important part. Um the I feel like I might have these in reverse. Like I think, yeah, get out, get away. So it's the getaway. Um So let's do it with style. Each of you narrate your signature moment in this leg of the heist, this final getaway moment.
Uh, I'm sort of gonna see if I can t sort of pull Jane into my little moment, because I imagine that he is too busy still sort of like recoiling and writhing on the ground, uh, howling and shrieking from pain. Um, but in that sort of chaos, say that maybe like Jane, you're able to sort of pluck the Dracula cape off of his body, and at the same time take out some of the quantum morphine from the med pack to sort of sedate him a bit so that he's functional but at least quiet.
I also open up my chest, and inside are those glasses that I had from the beginning when we first got here. And when we start dumping the wine, I pour a little bit and I shove it into Leland's hand as a little pick me up. And I
Awesome.
raise up my arm, and Gerald lands on it. He's back.
And I think Sarah kind of stumbles into the group with Massimo Thrust in tow and looks at the obvious changes in Jane's appearance and with narrowed eyes. What? Well, this is subtle as ever. Nice work, you three. Four. Five. This guy's coming with us. For now.
I like the idea of Fix at one point like trying to pull aside a tech that we've cornered. We've already given them the pitch about the VIP that we're holding up, and he just kind of like pulls him aside and he's like, "You gotta let him out of here, man. Look at what he makes me wear. I had two eyeballs when I woke up this morning, and it's just breakfast didn't go well, and this guy just flips the hell out. And if you don't get us off this thing, I hesitate to think about what he's gonna do to you."
I think as this is happening, we just see Hijack kind of subtly trying to weekend at Bernie's the dignitary. Just one hand on his back, making him look like he's angrily glowering toward Fix. This is very much beneath Hijack. It shows.
Can we say as part of the complication though that like as we're sort of boarding our own ship with the fake drunk dignitary that in the horizon uh there is the real sloth dignitary um slowly crawling his way
Oh.
towards us.
Also, yes, the escape, getting him off of planet was actually something that needed to be done. He's just too slow to get there. Um, I love it. Um,
Just like,
for
sorry, just picturing the sloth going through like the metal detector, and it's just going off and going off and as he slowly goes through the detector.
uh Yeah, and so we, for some short amount of time, the port is able to briefly turn on to get your ship off of the planet. And I think almost immediately from the point that your ship kind of spins off, like the plant is like slowly like whirring up and you feel like come on, come on, come on, come on, and it kind of plunks you out and you hit Leland hits the overdrive and you start rocketing out and almost instantly the Lazarus throws a volley at the port and it topples down. There is fire, there is blood, there is chaos everywhere. The dome itself of New Gothica is getting just hit over and over and over again. And as the camera moves down in this final moment, we see Stelio Mud in his with his plastic fangs and his little cape and all of the marks where he had allowed the Terranors to be draining blood from him, and they decided that he was not a worthy place for their parasites. Is just cackling and flapping his cape. I am the king of Terranors now! And you rocket away with the blood of Harvoid 3. It's end of heist time. The first thing that we do here is we'll meet again. So after concluding the narrative of the heist, but before any other tasks, roll a d6 for each heist the crew has completed and for each nemesis declared. So we've declared one nemesis, we've completed two heists, so we need 3d6. If a one is rolled and the crew has at least one nemesis, so we meet again will be triggered.
Who wants to roll?
Who has the nemesis?
I think that was
Then
hijack.
Yeah. It
I feel like it
was,
should be Hijack's role.
what was her name? Was that Ursula?
oh
No,
yes,
it
yeah.
was
Oh,
no, it was the other one. It was the nerd.
Gizamel.
oh, Gizamel was
No.
the okay. Yes, Gizamel de Bloom. Yes, there it is on the campaign sheet.
3d6. I have a 5, a 2, and a 2.
Okay, so you have not been tracked down in this particular instance. We go to experience gains. Each character gains 1 experience point when they answer yes to a question. For the individual characters, did you bridge the void? No one bridged the void in this. Did your past give you an edge? I guess let's go around. We'll go around. I don't know what's the better way to do this. Did your past give you an edge? I'm going to just throw it out to the group. We're going to do it that way this time.
I think it kind of helped me get into the dial to some
Yeah, I
extent.
think that's fair.
Just
Yeah,
like,
playing with your connection.
So I mark an XP for that. Is that how
Yep.
this works? Okay.
Yep.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think my
say,
past gave me an edge.
yeah, me neither.
Okay.
If anything, took away some of it.
Yeah, made my life worse.
That's what your past is for.
I suppose that's true. It almost for Fix turned into an edge, but then just became absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, The final question for the individual characters: did a failure remind you of the Lambeth deal? Describe your role in the historic event. So this is for failures, failed rolls, missed rolls that were kept. So we've got one for Fix, we've got one for Jane Doe. You just have to describe how that failure reminded you of the Lambeth deal and your role in it, or how you were involved in it.
There was one moment during the Lambeth deal where famously a member of my crew turned against us and fed information to the other side about our whereabouts, about what we were trying to do. And we ended up with great losses. So when I thought I heard Sierra giving away information about our crew and what we were doing, I couldn't help but think back to that moment and think back to that betrayal. And that is why I'm still suspicious of Sierra in my conditions.
Cool. Mark an XP for that.
Yeah, my it's just about like a heist that went bad, right?
Anything in the Lambeth deal, since you weren't here for the introduction, the Lambeth deal is essentially like the course of events that like led up to the Death Star getting blown up in Star Wars is like an equivalent of it, right? So it's like
Yeah.
a bunch of distinct remote events that the association is choreographing at once in order to like get to the galactic overlord. And for whatever reason, this just all collapsed at the exact wrong moment as the everything was launching. So we're kind of exploring like what are all of those like little things that contributed to the Lambeth deal not working out. So it could be a heist, it could just be politics, it could be anything, as long as it contributes to the failure of that big swing.
Yeah, the only thing I could think is that is of a scene of like Fix waiting to get a handoff that he was supposed to carry something important and courier it, and Leonid was the connection that he had been waiting for and just never showed up. Just
Mm.
sitting in like some dark corner of a rendezvous thing, looking at the faces of every single person that passes and never seeing this person that he had felt had a long friendship and relationship with.
Oh, kind of this is where you realize that it was not actually a friendship or like a even
Starting to get the
healthy
feeling that
business
maybe I had been
relationship.
used. Yeah.
Cool. All right, mark an XP for that. For the crew, did you escape with the loot? Yes, we did. So everyone gets a point for that. And then the final question here: are you pursued by a nemesis? Who?
Did we
So there's
want to
some
keep
risk
that?
here, right? Like as we add nemesis, like it essentially doubles the chance that we will have to fight one in a epic space battle. But yeah, everybody gets an XP. So it's like the game wants you to name a nemesis.
Yeah, let's I mean, I'm 10 toes down for Eliza if everyone else is.
Yes,
I'm into it.
absolutely. Let's do it.
You've destroyed her civilization after all.
Seems like
Or I
a
guess you haven't. The Robot Imperium has,
yeah,
but
yeah, it wasn't our fault. We were just
Mhm.
sort of, accomplices.
We just
Cool.
distracted her from dealing with it.
Yeah, if they weren't so busy hunting us, maybe they could have been paying more attention to the Lazarus.
Definitely how she feels about all of this. So we'll add her to our list of nemesis. And then so the final choice that you have here, and I guess so this is setting up for next session, the kind of like homework or whatever you want to view it as, is that before we start next time, we'll talk about character advancement, that if you want to use XP that you've earned to handle some conditions, to upgrade um, stats, to add new bona fides for your character. You can also add any of the exploits that you obtained on this heist into your personal kit list. So it's an option for you to be able to use in the future. So you can kind of go shopping for that stuff. And then as a group, the other thing that you will decide, and again, we can check in on this. We can handle it on the Discord chat. The discussion is a ship upgrade. So you can either keep the loot, the Blood of Harvoid 3, or you can and you just add that to your standard kit list, or you can pick essentially trade it for an upgrade to your ship, and that is that big ship upgrade list. Last time, I believe we got the biggest mechanical arm you've ever seen. So that's been attached to the pleasure vessel. You can figure out what you might want to add next from that shopping list. Um, that is where we at. I think to conclude this episode, though, I would like to hear the crew bona fides from Carlisle and Leland. So that prompt again from this was, you did something daring that gained the attention of the association. What was it, and how did they first approach you?
I can go. Carlyle is an opportunist at heart. And so when he was looking for the right combination of factors, the right tilts that he could rely on in this universe to make sure that it, well, went the way he wants it to go, he had to find one where the Carlyle in this universe managed to get the attention of the association. So he simply monitored, waited until one was close enough to doing the right thing, making the right move, and then he just tweaked it a little bit. And one of the Emperor's shipments didn't get where it needed to go, and it just so happened to be this Carlyle's fault. This Carlyle was easy enough to replace, and Hijack just stepped in, hijacked that life, and made sure that when the association came calling, he was available to take that message.
Yeah, I'll go. Leland is well, he's always been a bit of a traveler and always been a bit of a punk. And I imagine in his youth, when he was in and out of institutions, spent time in between hopping from freight ship to freight ship, um, sort of sneaking on board and doing whatever odd jobs he could to get by. Um, he was never very physically imposing, though that didn't never stopped him from engaging in bouts, bare knuckle space boxing. But it's not that he ever really won, but winning was never really the important thing. The important thing was actually losing bad enough to gain sympathy from the correct parties. He would use his sort of patheticness and his charm to his advantage, um, often cozying up with rich, affluent looking, at least. They weren't always affluent. But he would cozy up with them and try to gain sympathy, try to get them in as patrons, even if only for the night. Um, One such incident led him um, to a certain bout that he, of course, lost. Um, but he had noticed someone in the crowd uh, who seemed to have possessed the same sort of influence. They had a decent sized entourage. And so he zeroed in on this person and managed to make nice with them, if only for the night. But as part of this charity that they bestowed upon him, well, while they were sleeping, he was using the opportunity to rifle through their things, go through whatever he could, ransack the place. Um, of course, this patron awoke to find them in the midst of mopping whatever he could from them, and as sort of a deal to avoid more jail time, he managed to convince this operative, this higher up of the agency, that his values were better served to them and their organization, and not inside of, another space station penitentiary. Um, yeah.
Awesome. The final thing that we see is the camera cuts to a geodesic dome, huge geodesic dome, overlooking the deep of space. This might be even, it doesn't look like the galaxy that you would you would be in. There's not the hustle and bustle of ships zipping by. It doesn't even look like what's called beyond, the sort of unsettled space, where everything is much sparser. It takes years to get from planet to planet. This is some other place. And underneath this geodesic dome are control panels, each one with kind of an old, they wouldn't, maybe they would be old here, like a CRT monitor, just showing with scan lines, like old, like TV footage, essentially. And at each one of these stations, there is sort of an atrophying corpse that is very slowly like adjusting things. And we see the interaction with Leonid like playing out on this monitor. That consequence that we saw happen is playing out. And then we see a robed, cowled figure kind of hover over to this monitor where it's happening. And just like Carlisle adjusted the course of events, we see this sort of zombie atrophying hand reach out from this robe and adjust a few dials. And we see what happened, what we saw happened, happen. The scene rewinds a little bit and plays back the way that we saw it. And then, boom, cuts to black. Planet Raygun soundtrack starts to go. And we move to Stars and Wishes, everyone. I'll go first. This was a wild get out and getaway. A lot happened. The pulling the plan together. I loved how everyone was. There were a lot of like those kind of like callbacks to the beginning of the heist, earlier scenes in the heist, in that final moment. We were kind of a little wary, tentative about what to do in that exact moment. So we just started inserting those things, and it like really paid off. Like having Sierra meet up with Massimo. Loved Stelio Mud coming back and bringing that back, and then the wild interaction of how many eyeballs will Leonid steal in that whole curator showdown is a lot of fun. Leonid is not officially a nemesis, but kind of hope that he comes back. Now that there is history with two, if not three characters being developed. So it's all really cool. Yeah, a lot of fun to play through all of this. I am looking forward to um, next episode will be Stug Caballo's Crime Palace, which is kind of like it's the house on Escondido Street of Planet Raygun, or maybe it's the Limelight Lurkers, maybe the one from the Between that everyone like indexes in on. It's kind of like the iconic one. So that's gonna be fun. I think it will be. Now we've seen like a full heist play out. We've seen a short heist type play out, and hopefully all kind of like you've seen the full scope of the heists and how they work at this point. So it will be, yeah, like you'll have a lot more, I think, proactive power and that kind of thing in that one, and it'll be fun to see you take the run at Stug Caballo, and I think it will be a good jumping on point for people who um, want to get a taste of what the game looks like when it's running at full speed. So maybe this is my teaser to the audience rather than a wish to the rest of us. But I'm looking as well into how all of these little like stories are developing. There's still this tension between Sierra and Jane that's really intriguing. I think Fix and Leland and the Leonid thing, obviously losing an eye. And then I think that there's some stuff developing. I said it in the chat, like Carlisle, like adjusting the course of events is very fun for like how that like hinges into the Ghost Emperor as we pulled out in that final scene. So um looking forward to seeing yeah, we may have a quote unquote most beloved in our midst for the Ghost Emperor. But we'll see how all that develops. I'm looking forward to it.
I want to throw out some stars, especially to Michael for jumping in and being our guest star. That was just, it's always a delight to play with you, and this was just as delightful as I expected. But your character was very, very fun. I laughed a lot. The whole plan with the pipe organs, that was just bonkers, and I loved it. I loved that sort of complete batshittery that you brought to the table. So thank you for that. I laughed a lot this session. Everybody was really on point. Everybody was really funny. All the character interactions were great. I love the whole eyeball thing. Who's going to get the eyeballs? Who's going to keep their eyeballs? I loved when Leonid was like, "I can take yours too," and Leland was like, "Sure." Just what a crazy situation. Um, it's so nice to have Rob back and to find out what Sierra was doing during that time, because it was this big mystery, and I like that we didn't really resolve it. Kind of resolved a little bit. Like we kind of know what Sierra was doing in there, but we kind of don't. So Jane doesn't know what was happening, really. So I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun to play with, and I'm excited to still be a vampire. So that's my wish, is to do more vampire things and to see Gerald a lot more, because I was really excited to be able to use the pet vulture in the gothic scenario. I was holding on to that one with like this little hope in my heart that would happen, and it did. So yay.
Yeah, I can jump in if you like. I like Star for just the escalating chaos of the escape. That's always fun, where it's like I enjoyed that. I like the mechanism of like, you can turn partial success or failure on the one phase into like heightened difficulty in the next one. That's fun because it like really captures that kind of everything's going wrong and you're just kicking the can down the road of like of the problems and building towards this the desperation of the final act kind of thing. That's fun. Yeah, I enjoyed all the. Yeah, I did like the hint of tension with Jane and Sarah because Jane thinks Sarah's like maybe betrayed them, and Sarah's like, why is the robot a vampire now? When she was so desperate to not be a vampire, and yeah, it's. I think wish in terms of wishes, my main one would be just like more because I've been in a kind of separate space to the other characters for a lot of this session. I would love to have like more kind of screen time with interaction with the other characters, but that's like on me because I was like absent last time. Um, yeah, having fun. Looking forward to Stoke Cabello.
Yeah, I don't think I've played Blood Cabello yet. Have I? Is that the casino one?
There is a casino in it, but I'm not sure if you've played it
Is that with the woman with like the purple?
with the purple.
She like purpleness? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting my heist confused. Um, yeah, no, good times today. The eye plucking was plentiful and yet restrained. Um, which is, because you don't want to be gratuitous about that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of the stars that I have are similar to what's already been said. The visual of Flex in the sort of what I picture is like turn of the century sailor suit, and not like a naval suit, but like a proper sailor boy's uniform. Was fun. Uh, but I enjoyed the different heist theories, even if they weren't all successful. I do agree that I think that the escalation into the next place is a really nice way to keep things moving, uh, to keep things from feeling like hindered. Um, it's not something I would incorporate into like the between because I feel like the horror and like the heist thing have kind of a separate thing going on. And I think for the, like this sort of genre, it really makes a lot of sense to just kind of keep things escalating and moving. Um, and so yeah, I think it's a good addition. Um, I love the Carlisle's I'm sorry for the term for you, Ben, but straight man of the group. And I enjoy uh his constant corralling of the rest of us. Which I feel like he's a babysitter. Whether I don't, does he feel like that? I don't know, but he certainly feels like that to me. But it does make me wonder. I didn't think about it until Mike brought it up, but yeah, what his sort of ulterior motives might be, if he has any, or if we're all just very suspicious people. Um, I'm digging the tension between Jane and Sierra. Enjoying that you, Amanda, want to keep Jane a vampire. And looking forward to seeing how that looks in a different context, in a different setting. Because it makes sense. Obviously, we're on a vampire planet. Let's have fun there. But what's it like, at a casino or at like a spaceship race or something like that? What is, how does the scenario then get colored by this this different trait that you have? Um, and yeah, I think otherwise, I don't know if I have any particular wishes other than bridging the gap seems to be the way that we're all able to sort of have like those moments of intimacy, um, of downtime betwixt us. So I do want at some point, just like, and even if it's not like formally a scene, formally a move rather, but a scene at least, where we can sort of have, because I feel like a big thing with this genre is the sort of camaraderie moment that, the moments in between of decompression, of downtime, of banter between crewmates. And so I feel like we haven't had that yet. So I would like that now that, hopefully we'll all be together for it. Um, I don't know if Fix is planning to stick around. I'm totally into that if he is. And if not, go fuck yourself. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's me.
Ah, what a nice heartfelt wish to end that on. Uh, I feel like most of my stars would echo what we've already heard, but a couple that I had in mind was I didn't hear anybody mention Hijack's moment of where the hell do I put the virus, which just really tickled me at the moment of trying to figure out where to plug into one of these stitched up weird bodies, which are one of the more horrifying details of the whole target. Absolutely love that part. Was super excited to hear Stelio come back and get the ending that we were probably in our heart of hearts hoping for him. Good for him. Uh, I guess I'll second the call that being able to fail forward and make things more complicated in the next ring feels really genre appropriate because it does help make a good reminder of actually this crew is good at what they do. So even when the dice are absolutely trying to tear your heart out, you can just push forward and know that yeah, things will get harder and you'll still probably be able to pull something together. So yeah, lots of stars for all the relationships, stars just for the group in general for making room for me as a guest star and not feeling like Fix's repeated ridiculousness was undercutting the tone or anything. Because I think Fix probably thought he was going to be a curator like Hijack. I think your curators, you sort of assume, are going to be, the calm, collected planners, strategists. They've got a whole thing they're working towards. They've got long-term plans, and I did not know who Fix was going to become until I opened my mouth. And Fix is not attached to the concept of dignity. It turns out, if it gets in the way of being effective. So maybe a wish is what does Fix look like when he's able to be normal? That might be interesting to see when not in a high stress situation. What does Fix look like when Fix thinks they're cool? I don't know.
Uh, yeah, I can. So, star to Michael for Fix's commitment to taking on the role of Nerio, and I liked how we managed to get that in there, and just continually debasing himself for us, and in the service of our heists. Which even if Fix gets a bit of his shit together, maybe we'll see that echo through somehow. Um, Jack, your description of Leland's kind of true skill being in strategically losing was just perfect because it's so well, it's both antithetical and also perfectly in line with like the Star Lord and that kind of role in these stories. And so it's fun to see Leland leaning in there. Um, I really liked the scene with Syrah sitting in the chair and then poof, and then she's still sitting in the chair, but the camera whips around and she's pulling wires and circuit boards out of the. I just that was like just that was fun. I like that. Um, having Jane be the last Terranor felt so perfect, but really the true star is Gerald, and I hope Gerald becomes just a key part of our crew. That's my wish. Um, Mike, the Fosse hands for Massimo was my highlight. I quite enjoyed that. Uh, but yeah, and as previously mentioned, the way everything could still go terribly wrong, but we still had a path forward. Things were still moving. We could progress. Uh, that was good. It felt perfect for this kind of heist adventure and had a good time.
Nice. Listen, you guys, the one other wish is that so now I think like two or three heists is about we're going into the realm where the playtests haven't gone. And so there's things tied into that I'm really excited about. One of them that I've been thinking about as we're sort of like establishing relationships and backstory and all of that kind of thing is how the overtures are affected by that. I think is going to be really interesting to see because that is the place, right? That's where we're building bond dice, and those are prompts that are about the interactions. So I'm really That's something I'm thinking about a lot is like, do I go back now and kind of revise some of these prompts so that they like have that you can both play them cold if you're playing the game as a one shot or like a brief like interlude between campaigns of other games, but also keeping them open so that as we get these like richer layers and points of tension and history is building between the characters and that kind of thing, that the prompts open that to be explored a little bit as well in the overtures. So I'm really excited about that for what it's worth as well. And that's because of all your storytelling and fun characters and so on and so forth. Um, Anybody else have anything else? Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. Let's all wave bye to the people at home. We're waving bye if you're listening on the podcast.